My name is Audrey Nitzel. I am the Michigan Regional Coordinator for Students for Life of America, and I would like to welcome you all to this rally today. We are here gathered together as students, faculty, alumni, and concerned members of the community to call on the University of Michigan to stop participating in the trade of aborted baby body parts. For too long, women and their preborn babies have been merely numbers and dollar signs to the abortion industry, which seeks to make a profit off of illegally trafficking baby body parts and selling them for profit. The University of Michigan and dozens of others like it are all players in the fetal trafficking industry, and this must stop now. An extensive congressional investigation completed by the Select Investigative Panel on Infant Lives found that the University of Michigan is a public research institute that conducts research using fetal tissue obtained from tissue procurement businesses. In a response to a January 21, 2016 document, the university acknowledged 8 research studies that have been utilizing fetal tissue since 2010, specifically psychiatry, urology, human genetics, environmental health studies, internal medicine, and 3 from ophthalmology. Furthermore, physicians from the University of Michigan's health system staff a Planned Parenthood in Ann Arbor, and medical students are eligible to practice abortions there. Among the shared staff between the University of Michigan and Planned Parenthood, statements captured on an undercover video are of particular concern. An associate professor in the University of Michigan's OBGYN department and medical director for Planned Parenthood told the following to a Center for Medical Progress journalist regarding her prospective involvement in the acquisition of fetal tissue for research. She said, "If I'm involved, it would have to go through my University of Michigan IRB, and they tend to be pretty easy about stuff and actually not require informed consent, because that would be the biggest breach of confidentiality and of tissue discarding. Their feeling is you don't even need to consent, people." That's pretty interesting. We are calling for further investigations into the University of Michigan's role in the fetal trafficking industry and demand that they end the unsavory business of cutting up aborted children to be used for research. The University of Michigan cannot and should not be a part of this barbaric practice. While we do value and encourage medical research into life-saving treatments, the simple fact is that fetal tissue of aborted babies has not been and is not necessary for life-saving treatment or disease research. The abortion industry uses fruitless research to pressure women for their consent to hand over their aborted children for profit. The university could continue to pursue its mission without using tissue and body parts from aborted babies. We asked Mark Schlissel, president of the University of Michigan, to immediately halt all trafficking of the remains of aborted babies by the university and encourage all members of the university community to contact him and demand that the university get out of the aborted baby trade. There is a letter going around that will be delivered to President Mark Schlissel on Monday. Please sign it and join our protest. Thank you. We invite Mary Ellen to speak.
Hello, pro-life generation. I'm Mary Ellen McCarthy, co-founder and vice president of the Calhoun County Students for Life. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Like any typical American teenager, I've had my fair share of heartbreaks. My heart broke recently when our nation celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day. In my English class, we discussed the appalling injustice Dr. King fought against. My heart broke as we learned how his brothers and sisters were being treated as though they are less than human and used as objects by others. My heart broke last week when I watched a movie that depicted scenes from the tragedies that occurred during World War II. I had to shield my eyes as pictures of Jewish people being thrown in the Nazi oven and tortured flashed across the screen. My heart broke because I knew they were being treated as though they were less than human. Again, my heart broke a few weeks ago when I learned that 1 in 5 girls in my country are victims of child sexual abuse. My heart breaks for these girls because I know that they are being treated as though they are less than human and used as objects by others. Brothers and sisters, today my heart breaks again. My heart breaks because this prestigious university that was established to cultivate the human mind is using babies, people who have boundless potential, as mere objects for their own gain, and treating them as though they are less than human. But I don't want you feeling sorry for me and my broken heart, because as I stand with you here today, my heart is full of hope. surrounded by compassionate people who are unwilling to sit back and let these despicable injustices continue at this university. Pro-life generation, thank you for giving me this hope.
Thank you all for coming today. My name's Lynn Mills. I'm with Pro-Life Detroit, but I've been with Operation Rescue. I've been with Michigan Pro-Life Action League. I've morphed myself over the years from being an activist to being a pro-life researcher. What I hold in my hands today is $900 worth of FOIA, Freedom of Information. Because it's freedom of information doesn't mean it's free. About a year and a half ago, I started to FOIA the University of Michigan to get the receipts for their trafficking in baby human body parts, and it is absolutely disgusting. They have purchased from California, I believe it's CBR, spleens, eyeballs, and thymus. Now, I didn't know until Audrey just spoke what departments purchased them. What I would like to do today is challenge any of you out here to get from Audrey those departments and continue researching who in those departments purchased them and expose them. They cannot stand behind the redacted receipts and do their research anonymously. Who bought them? Why? I've got the receipts. We know they did it. What were they doing it for? What so-called good was coming out of it? Now, I've known for years that they've done this. When I researched it, when I just Googled yesterday or the day before, what came up overwhelmingly was research for vaccines. I cannot concretely say that, but there has to be more one researcher in this state besides me. I am very busy researching and finding the dirt on abortionists and trying to get their license pulled. There has to be homeschooling mothers who, while their children are doing their math, or students who want to do papers, other people who cannot get out to the abortion mills and witness to the women going in there. There have to be people willing to sit behind their computers, Google what I have found and what Audrey just said, and expose these monsters, and I'm sorry, but these Frankenstein monsters who take and buy second trimester body parts from California, and where they originated these body parts, we can all pretty much guess where they came from, and figure out who these professors, doctors, students are on this campus, and expose them. One last thing, when David Daleiden was dropping these videos starting in July of 2015, guess who was still ordering baby body parts while these videos were being released? This school, U of M. Please, people, don't let it stop here. Go home, take on these projects. It doesn't have to be me. It can be anybody researching this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We invite Cheyenne Trimmels from Hillsdale College.
Hi, so I'm Cheyenne Trimmels. I'm the Secretary for Students for Life at Hillsdale College. Thank you to Audrey for mobilizing all of us. So it's really great to see people out here who are fighting for the same things we are and are standing out here with us. Sometimes it can feel a little lonely. So why are we here today? I mean, that may seem like a rather obvious question to any of us that are standing here right now, but I invite you to actually think about it. It's easy to have an opinion formed in your mind of why we're against abortion, but it's an entirely different thing to try and communicate that to someone else who may not think the way we do. So while all of us here are adamantly against abortion, how often do we actually think about changing the hearts and minds of those people that we interact with on a daily basis? So I'll ask it again. Why are we here? Is it because Planned Parenthood uses tax dollars to fund their abortions? Is it because Planned Parenthood is participating in a transaction that is profiting from those procedures? Is it because this institution that we're standing on is part of that transaction? Is it because the University of Michigan is purchasing the aborted baby parts for their scientific research? My guess is that the answer to all those questions is yes. But I think it goes deeper than that. Why would a group of us get up before noon on a Saturday to come to an administration building that no one is at to protest against scientific research? And why does it matter that the parts for this research comes from babies that have been ripped out of their mother's womb? And we're not here because we want to be an impediment to scientific research. We're not here because we hate women and we want them to be enslaved to antiquated gender norms. We're here because we respect life. And the question we're dealing with now is no longer when does life begin. I think it's pretty obvious to the med students that are using these parts for their research that they're working with tiny humans. If these fetuses that Planned Parenthood is selling to the University of Michigan, if they were really unidentifiable clumps of cells, they wouldn't really serve a purpose for this research, would they? So when did we as a society get to the place where students our age can hold the eyeball or the spleen or the liver of a baby whose life was intentionally terminated and not even bat an eyelash? So these med students that are using it, they are going to become our doctors. They are going to become the intellectuals that are doing the research that is supposed to help heal us and help save our life. And the word medicine actually comes from a Latin word, medicina, and that means the healing art. But what this is, that's not healing. The mothers that go into Planned Parenthood for an abortion, they're not healed from any problem they may have, why they went there. The father, he's not healed. The brothers, the sisters, the friends, anyone who would have been directly connected to the life of that baby, they're not healed. Society hasn't benefited from abortion. Where has the culture of death brought us? We're standing on a college campus because people our age are okay with this. It's not healing. No one has benefited from abortion. And what the baby goes through during abortion, I don't think anyone, even on the pro-choice side, would say that what that procedure does is healing. This administration's decision to purchase aborted baby remains from Planned Parenthood only encourages the continuing disrespect for human life. The students that are profiting from this purchase, they're going to be the ones in 4 or 5, 6 years that will be developing the next life-changing or life-saving medicine. And if medical science isn't dedicated to the protection and healing of all human life, how can we trust it to help us? We are pro-life because science has spoken. We're pro-life because we believe in the dignity of every human person. We will not be silent until every person, regardless of whether they are in the womb or not, receives the respect they deserve from those practicing medicine, from those administering education, and from all of us. Thank you for being here today.
From Central Michigan University, and I'm pro-life because science and embryology have shown that from the moment of conception, a life begins. It's just a few cells, but it's still life, and that is just amazing. And I'm here today because Planned Parenthood needs to be stopped. We need to raise awareness of what they're doing because people don't realize they're literally selling human lives to do research on, and that is not okay. People need to realize that Planned Parenthood is not a good cause. There's so many alternatives for healthcare. Abortion is in no terms okay. And people need to realize that we're not going to be silent until abortion is ended. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandy Weathers. I am the wife of a very great, very super husband, 46 years. I have 3 children and 12 grandchildren. And I am the director of Pro-Life Action Network, which is a local pro-life organization which operates in Washtenaw County to promote the culture of life through prayer, outreach, and education. Many know us as the Life Chain people. I am also the 40 Days for Life campaign director for Ann Arbor. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and how I got in the pro-life movement. This is my 6th campaign as director, but I participated in 40 Days for Life in various degrees since the fall of 2007 when Ann Arbor joined the national campaign. Through my pro-life work, I have met and worked with many wonderful, dedicated, articulate, passionate, focused, kind, and brave students for life from the University of Michigan, EMU, Washtenaw Community College, Madonna University, Michigan State University. It just goes on and on. Concordia University, Ave Maria University when they were still here, and Ave Maria Law School. And all of these students have totally and completely inspired me. And I am very, very blessed to have rubbed shoulders with them. Unfortunately, when Pardon?
You inspire us.
Oh, thank you. Unfortunately, when I was in college, I was not brave. I was not articulate. I did not speak up for my friends. I did not reach out to them like you're doing, and I praise you for doing that. I had a friend when I was in college that found herself in a crisis pregnancy, and I did nothing. I didn't speak. I didn't offer my help. I didn't offer my compassion. I didn't offer anything to this friend. I dismissed my responsibility by saying, oh, she's my friend's friend. She's not actually my friend. But she was my friend, and I let her down. And that has impacted me. In the mid-'80s, I had 2 close friends from church that had revealed to me that they had had abortions, and they started speaking out about the harm it had done to each of them, and of course the regret of the loss of their children to abortion. This started me thinking about my 3 close friends who, while I was in my 20s, 3 other close friends who found themselves in crisis pregnancy within 9 months of each other. One chose adoption, the second chose abortion, and the third married the father. Even though we never spoke about this abortion with my second friend, it was clear to me that there could be a connection between the abortion and her attempted suicide and alcoholism. Soon after that, I started reading and listening and becoming passionately pro-life by and attending the annual Life Chain in Houston. I thought I was really pro-life to attend that one event once a year. But my friends on a daily basis, we talked about being pro-life, but I never spoke out about it publicly. As a footnote, I did have an opportunity to apologize to my second friend who had the abortion for not being there for her. This was 8 years ago, and I had that opportunity. And after I apologized to her, we hugged and cried some more. And then she told me to keep doing what I was doing. So all of you keep doing what you're doing. It's very, very crucial to our culture. Through my reading, I started to see the parallels between the Dred Scott decision and the Roe v. Wade decision. I started to see the parallels between the civil rights movement and the pro-life movement, and the parallels between the Jewish Holocaust and the abortion Holocaust. I was privileged a few years ago to hear a homily by a deacon, Frank Papp from Old St. Pat. Some of you may know Deacon Papp, but he shared with us in his homily that he was in a library and he had seen a book about what had happened during the Second World War when the doctors were performing research. They called it research on Jewish people. And some of them they didn't even, some of them they did this research on them while they were alive. And he shared with us how he saw this, these books in this magazine, a book about what these researchers had done during World War II. And I believe he told me, maybe it was, I believe he told me he threw up from the incident and it impacted his life. If it wasn't him that threw up, it was me. But he was sharing with us the atrocities these people had done, one human being on another, and questioned how as a humanity we could possibly allow that to happen. For one human being to perform these atrocities on another human being. He said it impacted him seeing these pictures. I found the book and I let it impact me because I wanted those pictures to be ingrained in my head, that I wanted to become passionate for fighting for life. And so I told myself, you've got to look to see what he saw, and you've got to make that part of your conscious thinking. So I did that. Many times in this fight for abortion, we're invited to look at the victims of abortion, and it's very hard to do. But I would like to share with you why I'm asking Rachel and Audrey to hold these two signs. This sign down here that Rachel has, Mom, what if I have your eyes? One of our sidewalk counselors presented that. He saw a student for life that chalked that on a sidewalk, and it really made an impression on him. And so we shared that with one of our artistic people, and she came up with this instantly. And it's beautiful. I see that baby as coming out of the womb, and the eyes, I mean, you know, Mom, what if they are your eyes? So this is one of our signs at Planned Parenthood. And then you have the contrast of one of the doctors that's an associate professor here at the University of Michigan, who exchanges eyeballs, those eyes that are like the mother's eyes, like the father's eyes, like the grandmother's eyes. She takes those and exchanges for grant money those eyeballs to the University of Michigan so that they can do research. We cannot allow this to continue. This is my third favorite sign. A just and civilized people does not tolerate slavery nor abortion. And going, excuse me, one step further, we should not tolerate research being done on innocent babies, excuse me, who cannot speak up for themselves. So I thank you for your kind attention, and I thank you all for coming out today. I know it's not an easy thing to do, and you students and Audrey, Rachel, everybody, all the leadership for Students for Life, all the Students for Life, oh, thank you for what you do. You're such a godsend.
For you too.
Campbell.
My name is Carissa Campa. I am the Vice President of Students for Life at Central Michigan University. At CMU, I'm studying early childhood development and learning. So in all of my classes, we talk about like conception all the way up until like 6 years old. And we learn that as soon as the sperm meets the egg, it is the sperm encapsulates the egg, and then it's called a zygote. And we learned that the zygote is just as much a stage of development as a toddler or like a teenager. It's just a classification of the development that that baby is in. And so I'm here today to protest the selling of baby parts for research, because if we wouldn't rip a toddler apart and sell the body parts for research, then why are we allowing it to be done with fetuses? If we wouldn't do it to teenagers, then why are we doing it to babies? Thank you.
Right. Well said. Very well done. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I see a lot of young faces out there. You should know that I got involved in the pro-life movement when I was just 23 years old, back in 1976. So now I know you're all doing the math. I'm the director of Citizens for a Pro-Life Society. If you want to take a look at our website, it's prolifesociety.com. Very simple. I feel a little odd being here today. Are we sure this is a pro-life demonstration? Because where are the counter-demonstrators? We had our fill of them last week. God be with us. I want to talk about why. Why researchers, scientists, academics would feel the liberty to use the body parts of aborted babies for research. And I think that the ultimate cause, and I think that this is something that also is a foundation for the pro-abortion ethic itself. We really don't see the unborn child as one of us. We are disengaged from them. They are out there, and it's very perplexing in some ways, because people want to be progressive, they want to be liberal, and they want to be inclusive. Ask anyone on the other side. They pride themselves on that. But yet when it comes to including and recognizing the unborn child as a member of the human family, there is a disconnection.
Yep.
They don't see the unborn child as a member of the human family. And so once you objectivize, you can now use, it's a reduction, it's a reduction of a human being to a thing. I submit to you that first of all, you should keep in mind that every major ethical code says that it is wrong, it is immoral, it is unjust, it is unethical to use the body parts of a murder victim for your own benefit.
Right.
And that's exactly what's going on here with using the body parts of a people group that we say are not human, and we've cast them out of the arena of human companionship and human communion, and that's exactly where our problem is. It's a kind of modern day, high-tech, state-of-the-art cannibalism. We are no better. With all of our sophistication and our beautiful buildings and all of this high learning, but when all is said and done, I submit we stand on the bodies of dead people. And we need to get in touch with that truth. I want to also give you a very big pep talk today. Not with a lot of words, but with a lot of feeling. The other side, who believes it's okay to kill unborn children, they are fired up. Are you?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you going to stay in this until the very bitter end? You're not going to hesitate. You're not going to be threatened. You're not going to get scared off. You're going to stand your ground. You're going to get out there. You're going to participate in demonstrations and do your work and do all that we can to convert the other side. But we are in this for the long haul, and do not back down for one single second.
Yes.
I'm going to close my presentation today. I brought a few of these booklets. Sandy talked about the aborted baby images, the victim images, and I edited a booklet that features them. Some of these babies in this booklet were actually in trash dumpsters in Michigan, at the Woman Care Clinic in Lathrop Village, and in the Women's Advisory Clinic in Livonia. We photographed them, we buried them, and this booklet features their photography with meditations, with reflections, some from, what we might say rank and file pro-lifers, but others are very well-known pro-lifers like Father Pavone and Jill Stanek and Abby Johnson and so on. I want to read my reflection to you because I think it articulates this ethic of being in communion with the unborn. It's entitled The Reason Why. At times I thought that I would be I guess I'm wrong. There is a counter demonstrator.
Y'all are fucking fascists.
Just wait it out.
What are you? Some idiot.
Don't you recognize it's the other side that are fascists? They're the ones that are killing innocent people,
And cashing in on it. You were born.
exploiting it.
No, but you're embarrassing yourself.
You can hear? At times I thought I would be a better pro-lifer if I were more detached. That is, if I could stand emotionally aloof from the women and their preborn children. I even prayed for this kind of disconnection. But perhaps the only reason a person makes efforts to defend the unborn is precisely because that person knows he or she is not detached. I do pro-life work because I am attached. Do you actually have an argument, or you just have yelling? Well, let's hear it. What is it? I want to know what your argument is. Do you have one? Why are you in favor of killing innocent life? Tell us. Now's your opportunity. Are you kidding? You need to look at the videos. Go in the back room of the abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood clinics, and you can see the aborted baby body parts being rummaged through. It's a glimpse of hell. You have no idea what you're talking about. Absolutely. Go look at the videos, and then we can have a discussion.
I am the skull.
There you go. Well, is it normal to scream in a rally? Doesn't seem very scholarly to me.
Oppressor. Okay, all right, guys, hold on. I'm going to offer you this. It's a book that I wrote. You can read it, you can get in touch with me, and we can get... And how is it fascist? Wait, you can fling out those words. How convenient.
Murdering babies is fascist.
All right, we need to go on. But that's not speech. It's not speech, it's bullying. What you are doing is bullying. You are bullying. Oh, okay, tell us why we're fascists. Why? Because we believe in the sanctity of life? That makes us fascists? Oh, you have no idea. You know where my husband is right now? He is in Detroit helping women going through their difficult pregnancies. Are you in Detroit doing that today? Are you doing that? Oh, you have no idea what it's Lots of people of color are against abortion. Atheists are against
Get closer if you can, but don't get too close in case.
This has nothing. You are ignorant. You need to understand.
Pro-choice people are against
So are you? Where are you from? I mean, we're all settlers when all is said and done. Why does that have anything to do? Hey, why can't we allow the unborn child to be a settler? Let them live.
This is being a part of the Christian Taliban.
Why can't the unborn child?
You're
they
free
live?
to have your own opinions on when you believe life begins, but when you try to use your religious beliefs to enforce across the general populace, that is wrong.
All right,
Actually,
guys.
it's black genocide. So,
Hey, ladies, gentlemen, we need to go on.
I don't believe in babies either. But when we had to get an abortion after my wife was in the emergency room probably 15, 20 times when our child was born, not breathing, straight into ICU, and when she got pregnant again when we had to change medications.
You're interfering. It's disorderly conduct.
It's not good. Are we murderers?
The outlook is not good for my hair. She still has to.
Are we murderers? Are we murderers? I don't care about God. Are we murderers? We are murderers. At what point? At what point? When it is 2 cells, when it is 4, when it's 32?
All human life is sacred. It doesn't matter the development.
Exodus? No, he was talking about a particular place.
Okay, look at, you have no idea. Go look at an aborted baby picture and you'll see what oppression looks like. Okay, guys, let's focus. All right, let's start over. The reason why. At times I thought I would be a better pro-lifer if I were more detached. That is, if I could stand emotionally aloof from the women and their preborn children. I even prayed for this kind of disconnection. But perhaps the only reason a person makes efforts to defend the unborn is precisely because that person knows he or she is not detached.
Selling baby parts, people.
I do pro-life work because I am attached.
yeah, they caught him doing it, bro. They caught him.
I am attached to the woman going into the clinic. I am attached to her baby. I am even attached to the abortionist.
No, I don't.
The true pro-lifer is invested in all humanity.
You can have your own opinions with
Who can see another personal someone in the smallest speck of human life.
And that is a very...
A monument stands 5 feet erect in the baby section of Holy Cross Cemetery in Milwaukee. Before it lies a grave of 1,200 aborted babies taken from the trash who were buried there September 10th, 1988. The granite stone bears the words, "This monument stands as a testimony to the sanctity of human life." Among these graves of children are included preborn babies, victims of abortion. Beneath this is a quote from 1 John 3. "The reason why the world does not know us is that it never knew him. We are God's children now. Indeed, we do not know the aborted unborn. Their rejection renders them strangers. In the violence done to them, they share the rejection of Christ, as the world never knew him. But I live in the hope that one day we will see these rejected babies. We will see them and know whose broken legs those belong to whom those severed arms belong, whose shattered hands those are. And we will see them whole and free and loved. And in a great mercy, they will at last be known by the world that said to them and to Christ, there was no room for you. God bless you all.
All right, we've got Beth.
Hi everyone, my name is Beth Swan. I'm the Vice President of Students for Life here on campus. And go Blue! So, as proud as I am to be a Wolverine, I am just appalled at what our university is doing. I'm a third generation Wolverine. My parents went here for undergrad, my dad went to the dental school, my mom went to the med school. So I grew up in a scientific family, a pro-life family. When I was younger, when I was like 10 years old, I used to look at rocks under a microscope and draw them out. Like, I love science. But this kind of research is so unethical, I can't stand behind it. And, you know, research is great. We do so many good things. The University of Michigan has like a top med school, #1 dental school, a great pharmacy school. We have great research going on here, but the research going on with aborted fetuses is wrong, and I can't stand behind it. As a student, it's really hard to be pro-life on this campus, and this past summer I went to Poland and I saw Auschwitz and I saw Building 14, and this building was a building used decades ago for research on women. They would sterilize women in this building, and it's really like, it really made me think, you know, this happened decades ago, but it really struck me, and then we come here and there's similar unethical research going on, actually happening while we're students here at this university that we pay tuition to go to. So I just want everyone here to stay strong, keep fighting, and demand the University of Michigan to take those funds away from buying aborted baby parts and putting it towards more ethical research. Thank you. Here's Chloe. No, not Chloe. Nicole. Hi, I'm Nicole Hokat, and I'm a freshman here. It's really windy. Okay, so if I'm being honest, I did not want to talk today. I was asked, and I was really scared. I thought about all the friends that I've lost in my commitment to the pro-life movement, and I knew how my fellow students would see me. And I accepted the excuses that I gave myself. Hello? Okay. I was in French class, and we were learning about when women were finally given the right to choose, to have full autonomy over their bodies, to be able to abort their children. And I thought about how this was in my textbook,
how normalized it had become that it was in the same books that discussed slavery and sex trafficking in the next few pages, not recognizing the line that connects all of these atrocious acts. This is what the BBC says about slavery. Virtually everyone agrees that slavery is inhumane and degrading and wrong, but for much of history, many people defended it. And the argument for slavery was that slaves were supposedly inferior beings, that slavery is good for slaves, that it's legal, that living as a slave is better than having an awful life, and that it's essential. Doesn't this sound familiar? As a pro-lifer, it's infuriating to see how similar these issues are, and yet no one sees it. I am not comparing the tragic history of slavery to abortion, but I'm pointing out that the logic that the supporters of these two are the same. I have hope that people will recognize the humanity of the unborn person just as they recognize the humanity of the black person. I have hope because I know that one day our history books will say that virtually everyone agrees that abortion is killing, that it is inhumane and wrong, but for much of history, many people defended it. And these people argue that unborn children are inferior beings, that they aren't human, that abortion is good for these children, that being killed in the womb is better than having an awful life, that it's essential. But now we know this isn't the case. Now, everyone here today may not live to see the day their courage was rewarded for standing up for the unborn. And being here, obviously, it's not as big of a crowd as it could be if we were in a different place. And that's hard to see, and it's hard to see people protesting, but it's not about us, and it's not about how people feel about us. It's about the unborn babies and their mothers, and it's about the day that justice will come. And I was scared to speak, and I told myself, well, I don't want to seem weird, and I mean, it could be worse, but no, it can't be worse. There's no worse than harming the most vulnerable of society and then just selling their parts for profit and buying them for research. This is clearly wrongful, a human rights violation. I'm here to speak out against it for those who cannot speak for themselves. Thank you for coming out to be here with me, and even if you never feel like you receive enough thank yous or recognition, know that your work is invaluable. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Rachel Crawford. I'm the when choosing abortion, and how they could donate their aborted fetuses to research that for some women this could be a positive thing. Opponents of abortion and those who support its legality have areas of disagreement. In my conversations with those who disagree with me, I often find that those disagreements are far less